I'm Mike with Hunt Fish Shoot, and this is Joe's and I's new Crestliner MX21. Check it out if you want to see it on the water and see a quick overview of how this boat is. We'll start up here on the exterior of the boat on the front. Your trailer you get is a very, very nice tandem axle trailer from Crestliner. It's made by Caravan Trailers. It does have a fold-away tongue on it to shorten it up a little bit. This boat, in this garage, this is like a 30-foot garage, so this boat is pretty darn long on trailer. You can fold it. It's probably not going to fit in your standard garage that you have out there. However, it's a big boat, so it should be expected. But it does have a fold-away tongue. Standard stuff for all that. You got your surge brakes. It has electric surge brakes. It uses a 5-pin connector, which is a little different than either your 4 or your 7-pin, which is not a big deal. You do get a full-size spare that comes with the boat. Again, tandem axle trailer with this. Very, very well-made trailer. Really nice construction. It has steps on both sides that are reinforced, so you can climb up in the boat if you have to do that. But then it's diamond plated, nice chrome look and finish to that. Nice wheels that come on it as well. They're a little bit smaller than some of the ones that you see out there, the tires themselves, but there's no reason to go overboard if you don't have to, essentially. So real nice setup with that. The trailer has bunks. It has a roller up front here, your standard crank and winch and everything like that up front as well, and then a nice folding and raising and lowering, jack with a good size wheel on it as well. So all nice stuff like that. The hull design on this is your modified V flat bottom, basically aluminum type hull. Although this one's not super flat. So it's nice because it's really reinforced well all the way across the front. Both the edges have basically like steel fairing strips that go down the sides for reinforcement, as well as the same on the front, or basically your keel that goes all the way down the boat is reinforced as well. The boat is really, really solid. It does, this is the front of the boat here. It does not sound hollow whatsoever. It's reinforced all the way underneath. Very, very well made boat. They did a really, really nice job with this boat. And as let's say heavy duty or well made as it is, it's not heavy. When I load it up on the back of my standard F-150, I do have a max trailer tow package on that truck, but this thing literally hardly makes that truck squat whatsoever. In fact, it tows and trailers way better than our Triton did. Granted, that was just a single axle trailer. This is tandem. They generally do tow better, so it's really nice there. So let's head on back to the back of the boat. What sets the MX21 apart from a lot of the other aluminum boats in general, whether it be a Vexus and your Lunds and some of those, is that you're able to get a 250 on the back of this boat. And that is awesome. The price you get this boat at like $52,000, $53,000, as we have it set up here with the Graf trolling motor, engine, everything on it, the trailer, all that stuff. We do have a travel cover that comes with it. Nice winching or ratcheting type travel cover. Really, really nice. But everything that you get with this package and everything on here, this 250 Pro XS, I'd heard these on other folks' boats out at the ramp and things like that, and these just sound flat out awesome when they start up. So just a badass motor. And then you have hydraulic steering on here as well. They do put actual brackets here on the back on both sides for you to be able to mount your transducer to, so you're not drilling into the hull whatsoever. Let's speak about the hull. Some of the newer aluminum boats out there, they do have a pad hull on them, such as your Vexus, and I think Express is doing it as well. And yeah, there's some other nefarious brands out there, quote unquote, but they're just not common, and we don't see them here in Ohio. But so with this boat, it does have a pad hull in there, and what that doesn't mean, if you don't understand, is it helps you actually be able to steer and drive the boat a lot more like a bass boat, and it gets up on plane and runs very, very well. But with this hull too, is what's nice about this boat, and I noticed, is that we were kind of going back and forth between the Lund Pro V Bass XS and this boat. It's not only wider, but what's nice about this boat is the draft on it is really shallow. So you're able to take this boat in super shallow water, yet it still is not the type of boat that is so shallow on the sides that you get yourself some rougher water, you're gonna have issues. Are we gonna be taking in super rough water? No. But would it probably be able to handle it if we had to? I think it would. And being here in Ohio, we do fish Lake Erie a lot. We go up to the bay and out to the islands and things like that. And you get some wind up there and you're getting 6-foot rollers without even trying. It's unlike any other lakes around the country. And anybody that's ever fished that lake knows how much different it is. So for us in Ohio to feel confident in a boat like this was really nice to have. Before I forget, so you guys know, it does have a jack plate on it. It's just a manual jack plate. It's not tuned. We haven't changed it whatsoever. It's set from the factory at the lowest setting ultimately. Trim and everything like that. When we fire this thing up and it goes, it's doing about 5,300 RPMs, 54 somewhere in there, and you're getting 65 miles an hour out of it. It's literally topping out the speedometer on the boat. And I can tell you this thing's definitely got more in it, especially if you mess with the jack plate and mess with the prop being only a 23 pitch 4-blade prop, which it gets on planes super quick, which is really, really nice, especially running in shallow water. You're one of those people that doesn't necessarily care about your boat. We're not going to be doing that. We don't want to tear it up. They're expensive. Just a lot of really awesome features with this boat. And it's, again, you guys are going to hear me say it throughout the video, it's hard to beat the value that you get with this boat at what Joe and I got it for, which is close to $53,000, that you get the cover, the 250, we have graphs on it, we have a trolling motor on it, the deck size, the deck layout, all the boxes are lockable for the most part, except for these ones here in the rear. We did get a butt seat, we got a regular pro seat for the back, adjustable front seat, just everything that you need to go fishing, we got with this boat for the price that we paid for it, with no extras. And when you start looking at your Phoenixes, your Bass Cats, the Tritons, your Nitro, the one that everybody thinks is your Walmart bass boat for a glass boat, costs still nearly $15,000 more than this boat to get the 21-footer. And that's a lot. That's a lot of money that you can save by getting this. And most people, when you do these in your finance or whatever it is, you're not running those payments out so high or so far so that you could just afford it. You can get this, lower your payments, pay for a shorter period of time, and still get a really awesome fishing boat, especially if you're a bass fisherman. We didn't buy this boat, Joe and I, to let this thing sit in the garage and make it just look neat inside our barn garage over here. So let's get this thing out on the water and show you guys what it's like. The single best part about the Crestliner MX21 is how big this front deck is. It's so hard to truly put in perspective until you're standing on the deck of a flat-out aircraft carrier. It is absolutely massive. The boat itself is so darn stable, and they have this nice pad up here, the C-deck pad from Crestliner that's up here. You can stand on the bow, and you'll notice that really with this boat, when you move around on it, it moves very, very little. It doesn't tip. We've had 3 of us on one side so far, and it still doesn't tip on you. And it is a really, really nice, stable boat, and it's so darn big. Fully, let's say, spread eagle. And that's how big the front deck is. I'm 6 feet tall, and you'll see that this deck is just absolutely massive. The best part about this boat thus far for us is probably the fishability. But to really show you guys how big this boat is up front, I'm going to show you is that this is a 7.4 medium heavy Legend glass rod, okay? I'm on the front of the boat, the front third, let's put it there. This is the front third of the boat, okay? That's the 7'3". On a standard bass boat, what you're getting when you get that wide beam is it's generally the widest in the back. On this boat, being an aluminum one and how they're able to design it and do things a little differently, you get a wide boat up front, okay? I mean, let's just go back a foot, and this rod will literally lay smack dab in the center of the boat, like nearly flat, okay? And that's deck space we're talking about. So you don't have huge wide gunnels because it's not a glass boat, all right? So it's a little different with that, and that's what's sweet about this thing is how big it is. You can have 2 people up here, and it feels like you're not cramped whatsoever. You can flip, you can cast, you could chuck big plugs, you can do all the above to do it. And what's even better about, because it's so big and this boat's so wide on the consoles and what it is you have literally about 8 to 10 inches on each side of each console that you can run rods down the sides. And then you can even push your rods back and have nearly no rods up front. I don't have all of our rods out. I have pretty much just mine out. And then Joe, my brother, we got this boat together and he's able to have all his rods out up front. I'm able to have all mine, and you're not cramped. They're not in the way. And it's just awesome. You do get a recessed footwell for your trolling motor. And it's stainless or it's steel or aluminum, like you get. It's got a cup holder, your tool rack, pliers, things like that. A little bit downfall because we went with this type of mount and over the pedal type like that. But what's sweet too is because the boat's so big up here, is that if you're gonna go and mount, let's say 3 graphs like they're doing with some guys' live scopes or whatever graphs, graphs you're gonna do, we have Lowrance. This is a 9-inch, the new Elite FS on here. We had hummingbirds and we would go something different. We like the touch screen capabilities of this and things like that, and just nice graph. But you could have 3 graphs up here, 3 or 15-inch ones, and it's not gonna take up any of your bow space. The space where you have to actually fish. And again, probably the best part about this boat is the fishability. It is just hands down way bigger. And when you start to look at some of the boats, the glass boats that you can get out there and how much they start to cost you when you get the biggest ones that are out there, I mean, you're looking at a starting point, 70 grand. This boat, as I stand on it, with everything on it, the graphs, 112-pound all-trick trolling motor, a Pro XS 250, like 52,000, just a touch over that. Okay, and that's out. I mean, that's all. It's not out the door because obviously you got your taxes, but that's everything. This boat is ready to fish at that price in a full-size tournament-ready bass boat. And the boxes on here are huge, and we'll get you guys a little closer here so you can see them. But it's nice because when you do prop these boxes open, they are spring assisted with hydraulic rams on both sides. But as you'll notice when I open these boxes, is my rods are sitting on the deck. And you'll notice that, yeah, I have some on this side, but like on the other side here, it didn't even move my rods because the boat's so darn wide, you can have it on there. And it's got a big old coffin center one here. You can fit your 8-foot rods on both sides here. We have our rods on the right side, the driver's side. And then on this side, we've got a bunch of gear and stuff like that. So we'll get you guys a little closer so you can see these boxes, but they're just absolutely massive. And it's just, the storage that you get in this boat, the space you get and everything you're getting is just, it's frankly in an aluminum boat, unmatched. So let's get you guys a little closer and show you the next parts on the front back. Nearly nobody likes to go out and fish alone. I mean, I love going out with friends and be able to fish, especially with my brother, because that is why we got this boat, be able to fish comfortably together all the time. And yeah, we can both fish on the front, but this boat with as big as it is and as wide as it is, you can take easily 3 people on here, and I wouldn't see any reason you couldn't take 4. The back deck on here is just as wide as the front pretty much, and that's again part of the benefits with the aluminum boat and how they're able to design them. 7'3" Jacob Wheeler rod on here. All right, this is as close to the seats as you want to get. Your rear fisherman can literally lay a 7'3" rod widthwise across the back deck. You can do it anywhere you want if that's what you want it to do. You can put it all the way back here if you want. And I mean, really, like I said, this rod's 7'3". You can fit near an 8-footer back here. It's that wide. I mean, in these boats, they're supposed to be a 97-inch beam width. And a lot of bass boats that you see that you're getting that beam width, it's not actually that wide. The boat is itself, but your deck and fishing space is not that wide. And that's the difference that you're going to see in a lot of them. And then you have all your compartments, your huge battery box back here, which, if you've seen some of the other videos by John Cox, you can literally fit, it feels like you can fit 100 batteries back here. Right now, we have a 36-volt system on here, so we just have 4, plenty of space. We'll show you guys that box a little bit more in detail. You have 2 little day boxes back here for your fisherman or your buddy is coming with you. Plenty of room to put a couple 3700 series boxes if you want, and then obviously your big old live well. So huge, 45-gallon live well in here. It is a fiberglass live well, and it's insulated on both the lids and also the sides. Pump out, recirc, all the good stuff that you need if you're going to be a tournament bass fisherman, or if you're somebody that wants to keep fish and film, whatever it might be. And for us, I mean, at Hunt Fish Shoot, this boat will greatly improve our ability to be able to film fishing content. Sometimes it's harder with our smaller boats, and going from the 18.6 Triton that we had, this thing feels like a gosh dang aircraft carrier. So let's check out those boxes in the front a little bit more, show you guys more details about the back ones in our cockpit area, and we'll wrap it up. I'm going to show you guys the passenger side box here you have. This one actually has rod tubes in it, which we're not using it yet. It's stiff because it's brand new. Standard compression style latches on there, lockable. It does have rod tubes in here, which looks like it's for 10 rods. You can fit a couple in there. It's made to fit your 10-foot, or I'm sorry, your 8-foot rods. And then in here, Andrew's got his fishing bag in here, tool bags, some life jackets, your buoys and things like that we have in there. And there's still plenty of room. They are deep. Actual depth wise, I don't know what, how deep they are in there, but you can see my forearm. Most people's forearms are 24 inches. So it's nearly 24 inches deep. Okay, it's pretty darn close. So nice double ram hydros on there, so it lifts the box nicely. It's not heavy, closes. Like I said, this one's stiff because it's brand new with the carpet and everything. So let's check out the other side. Driver's side box over here. Again, you can fit fishing rods in this side as well. Boxes are stiff. This one's been opened a little bit more. This box, I mean, we had like 21 rods in here, and there's still room for more. We don't have the tubes over here. The reason we don't want the tubes is because it's easier to store more rods that way. You know, my brother and I, when we're in here fishing, you're able to get all that stuff in there. We have some 8-footers in there, and they fit just fine, no problems, easy to get. The boxes themselves, very nice quality. You'll see that they are reinforced. The only thing I would say gripe-wise about this is that the edges on basically the support rails, they're sharp. So you just have to be careful with that. It's something that in time we might even coat the bottom of this, because this is going to be a boat that we're going to be keeping for a long time. But very well built, stiff. They don't bow or anything like that. And you see they have nice, you know, tubing underneath here to keep them stiff. The center box that you have on here for storage is awesome. Like I said, we came from a 18-foot Triton TR186, and of course it's an upgrade in general, but the way they have this laid out, how big these boxes are because of how wide this boat is flat out awesome. So let's open up this center one here. We're able to get all our fishing stuff. Again, it's a little stiff because the boat's new. And you'll see it is reinforced, just like you would see, very well made, you know, aluminum boat. Everything is, the welds all look good. Again, the undersides here, they're a little bit sharp, something that you have to take into consideration when you're looking at it. On some of the other aluminum ones, maybe the only one I've seen that's really a whole lot different as far as for these go, and like, let's say sharpness and being painted underneath, which I could care less about the paint, frankly, it's aluminum, is going to be the Vexus. The Vexuses, they are painted underneath, but to get a Vexus 2080 with a 200 horse Pro XS, you're going to spend more money than this boat. And we got a 250 on here on a bigger boat. This is a full 21, it's like 21.9, I think is what it is, nearly 22 feet long. Whereas your 2080, that boat is barely 20 feet. So you're getting 2 feet longer, a wider boat, a bigger engine, and overall more space because obviously your boat's bigger. But on here, if you can see that, is that we have, you know, we have some edge boxes in here, worm boxes, you know, a big deep cranking box in there. We're able to do everything we want in this boat with space for more stuff. You can just fit a flat out awesome amount. And what's nice with these aluminum boats in general is how the hull design is. This one does have a pad on the rear, so it does turn and drives better than a standard, you know, tunnel hull basically. It's a really nice modified V, but you're able to get so much storage in there, and these boxes can actually be pushed back up underneath or even further if you have to. The insides of the boxes, they're all painted. And what's sweet about this boat too is it actually has LED strip lights underneath all the side rails, your gunnels, and also inside the boxes are also lit with LEDs. You can turn those on, light them up, easy to see. People, a lot of times for these boxes, they want to talk about how watertight they are. These ones, you can see they have a nice seal all the way around, really nice. It is raised, well built, everything on there looks good. Do I think that it's going to take waves crashing over the center and you're never gonna get water in there? No, but again, you're fishing on a boat, you're going fishing with it, things are gonna get wet from time to time, and realistically, it's fishing gear. If it gets a little bit of water, it's not gonna hurt anything. Just let it dry out like you would, you know, with a lot of your offshore type boats and things like that. And it's just this boat is hard to beat, in my opinion, with everything you get for it, for the money you're paying for it. Of course, it's expensive. I won't sit here and tell you guys it's not, but on a boat that you could tournament fish out of and the size you get and that you could take all your friends with you to go fishing, it's really hard to beat. So now I'm in the cockpit area, and with this really sweet seats, they're bolstered, extremely comfortable to sit in. You can actually remove the backs of them if you have to for cleaning and things like that. This one, you cannot adjust it back and forth like I have seen with some boats. Some of them, they obviously, you know, offer you that. There's a little glove box here, which you can get a center seat if you want that instead of the glove box. Something maybe we'll do in the future. Nice glove box, stainless lid and everything like that. It's sealed. You know, I'm probably not going to be leaving my most valuable things in here during the middle of a rainstorm. I don't think it's that watertight, but it certainly does the job for this. You have another step box here, relatively the same size. Your cup holders over here, I could probably go for a couple extra cup holders on this. There's really just two on here, and then the one that we've got covered up because of the pedal over mount for our graph itself. There's no other cup holders on here, but again, it's super wide. You're not cramped in this boat whatsoever. Driver's position here is very nice. It has a tilt steering wheel. You can adjust it however you want. This does have your Pro trim or blinker style trim, so you can go up and down with your Pro XS on here. Super easy to do. And then The gauge clusters and everything on here, this isn't overwhelming. It's a very, very easy boat to look at and understand. It's got the nice switches. They're not your I don't really care much for your standard, rocker switches. These ones have the big stainless ones, and I like them a lot more. They're nice. It's got your horn on there, if you need that, obviously. Starting system, this one does have a speaker system on it. It's a Jensen Bluetooth one. I haven't really used it. A lot of times we don't necessarily listen to we do, but we'd like to talk a lot too. So you have all that stuff. You got your speedometer over here, your tachometer over here, and then also shows all your trim and everything like that. What's nice is that they use a fiberglass console on here, which is pretty standard for your aluminum boats nowadays. Obviously your Vexuses near the whole interior of the boat is all going to be fiberglass. This one is not. The majority of this boat is actually going to be aluminum. And then the consoles themselves, they are fiberglass, really nice quality, well made. Again, everything's just laid out well. They got the C-deck accents here, nice windscreen. And then on here we have our Lowrance Fs9. And is it the biggest graph that'll fit in here? Absolutely not. This is supposed to be able to fit a 12-inch, and I would see no reason it couldn't. So if you like your graph-mounted flush mount, you can do that. And again, because this boat has so much space on the sides of the consoles, you got all kinds of room for mounting graphs and equipment and whatever it might be. And you'll see too that we have rods and things like that that are going down the sides. And this boat's so hard to beat with how much space you get. We have a hot foot on here. Everything that you look for in your higher end bass boats exists on this boat. And I frankly, maybe new, it may be my boat. I love it. Your passenger side, we'll go into that here in a second. But again, pretty similar setup. We do have a dual console on this boat. Is it something that we were looking for? Not necessarily, but if you guys know, if you're looking for this boat in general, extremely hard to come by. The passenger side here, you have a passenger side console. You don't have to get this on these Crestliner MX21s. We have it on this one. It's what came on it when we bought the boat. We didn't order this, just lucky enough that the local Ravenna Marine here had this boat. So we were like, oh, well, you know what? Why not? We'll keep it. And it's actually nice because there's times that if you do have another fisherman with you, the console's really nice when you're running down the lake. It keeps the wind out of your face. You don't get beat up by the wind or even rain at times, and it's just comfortable. Downfall of this console, I will say, is I'm not real big on how the actual door itself opens and closes. It's kind of, I don't know, for lack of a better words, it just feels cheap. It has a nice grab handle on here, another grab handle over here on the side, or crap handle as a lot of us like to call it. But it's a ton of space. A downfall I'll say on this boat is that I've noticed the undersides of these fiberglass consoles, they are sharp, flat out sharp. It's something that, if Crestliner, if you're watching this, you need to work on that, because you're getting a boat, paying all this money for it. I don't want to get in here and gaff my leg and slice my leg open, which we're not lying about that. You guys will see it. Andrew was riding the boat while we were filming a little bit, running down the lake, and he cut his shins literally on this console. Do I think it's a deal breaker? By no means is that a deal breaker. Are we going to probably take some foam tape, put it underneath there, soften it up for ourselves? I'm sure we are. We're that type of people. We're not going to be sending it back so that they can soften up those edges for us. All right. Just really nice features on this boat. Is just the best part about this boat, frankly, is the fishability. The darn thing will go 65 miles an hour, no problem. It actually tops out on the speedometer, and it's got more. I mean, we're running about 52 to 5,300 RPMs and doing 65 miles per hour with the 250 Pro XS on here. And that's a 4-stroke, sounds sweet. It's a heck of an engine, and that's no jack plate adjustment. It's just set from the factory, lowest setting ultimately. It has a 4-blade 23 pitch prop on there from Mercury, and this boat, by far, out of all the boats I've been in, and he'll say the same thing from the Legends that he's been in, gets on plane faster than anything we've ever been in. And a lot of that is in tune because the boat is light. It's got a crap ton of power on a light boat, and it holds a 250. Not all your aluminum boats out there will hold your 250s. And when you look at your Express, let's talk about them because they are popular. The Express boats are flat out expensive. To get a 21-foot Express with a 250 on the back, you're looking at prices for a fiberglass boat. Generally, a lot of times when guys are looking for your aluminum boat, you do it because you want to save on cost, save on maintenance, and you get a lighter boat. With this boat, you get all of those things. Tournament size, a 250 on the back, fully set up for this. And again, guys, we're at like $52,000, $53,000. It's a lot of money, but not for everything you're getting. I mean, it's a heck of a deal, and it's just nice that you can have a boat this big, not break the bank, run down the lake, and you can, if you can fish, you'll be able to outfish a lot of other people with the size that you get with this boat. So just a lot of really, really nice features. So if you guys like what you saw today from Hunt, Fish, Shoot, and you want to see more of our Crestliner MX21, please let us know. We'd be happy to make any videos that you want, because as we all know, there's jack crap out there on the internet as far as for videos. The videos that are out there are all sponsored by Crestliner and only by John Cox, which great fisherman, but his videos, frankly, aren't the best for actually showing this boat. They're short and they're promoted. For us, we're not sponsored by Crestliner. So if you guys want honest opinions, you're gonna always get it with this Crestliner. It's like I said, these edges under here are sharp. The boxes, they could be finished a little bit better underneath the lids. Con-wise, outside of those two things, the trailer is awesome. It's very, very well made by Caravan Trailers. You know, your tandem axle, surge brakes, electric, everything, LED lights, everything you want in a good trailer, swing away tongue, nice jack, everything on there is good. So again, like the negatives on this boat for me, frankly, are those, you know, the undersides of this is sharp and the boxes could be finished better. The complaints that I've seen from folks about Crestliner's paint being kind of crappy, I'm not seeing it yet. You know, granted, we've had this boat only about a month, and we're gonna do future reviews. So again, guys, if you like what you're seeing from this, please tell us. Drop us a comment, drop us a like, whatever it is. But again, follow along next time with Hunt, Fish, Shoot.